And for many years, I think Rob Halford was the undisputed king of the screams.
So what do you think was changing at that point? Because we've been through some musical changes, and now we're getting into this more... I don't even know how you describe that.
Well, I think Sabbath were sort of, they often referred to as originators of heavy metal, but I don't know if they really were. But Judas Priest took almost a punkier attitude and a lot of very speedy, very, very fast rhythms. They're often known as like one of the godfathers of what in the 80s became known as thrash metal and all of these different genres. And I think actually, yeah, you're quite right here. With the expanding sort of influences styles, this was the first period where they began to categorise music quite heavily. And I think Judas Priest are a good, honest, heavy metal band, whereas ACDC are probably, I don't know, a heavy boogie band. And Rainbow are just a heavy rock band. I mean, they all come under the overreigning of rock. But, yeah, a lot of the reason I pick these bands is because they do cover the different aspects. Categorisation is something that would become much, much more prevalent in the later decades. I remember when I was at school, if you were into thrash metal, you couldn't possibly be into Bon Jovi and hair metal.
Right.
And if you're into that, obviously, you definitely wouldn't be into new romantic or pop or ska. So now I think it's lessened again, and people just listen to everything. But no, this is a great example of heavy metal. And Priest, they're contemporaries of Sabbath, actually. They hit their success later, and this album, again, came out in 79. They didn't really become massive until the 80s, but I had to include them here because they're so influential on a number of other acts we'll be covering over the later series.
When you were talking about the categories then, did you say hair metal?
Hair metal. A lot of other names I'm not sure I can actually name, but yeah, LA hair metal, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Dokken.
Because of the start. Okay.
Europe, yeah, because the pretty boy hair image,
okay.
Referred to in a lot of ways by your traditional Brummy heavy metal fan, didn't like them.
Right, gotcha. I look forward to that show, though.
Good stuff. Now, the next song I picked from, guess what, another live album, is The Great UFO. UFO were formed late 60s, early 70s again, and had spent several years on the circuit, gradually picking up band members until they hit their sort of peak mid-70s era. UFO were never a massive band. I mean, Preist sold 50 million records plus ACDC 200 million. I think UFO are hovering below 10 million, but they were still very influential, particularly to guitarists, and this track, Dr. Doctor, features the great, the wunderbar Michael Schenker, who also found fame in UFO and as a solo artist. And this is from their 1979 album, Strangers in the Night, and it's Dr. Doctor.
That's UFO and Dr. Doctor. And for our next track on For Those About to Rock, we turn to Thin Lizzy, a band that is really close to my heart. And nice to see that my little boy who's learning how to play the guitar has started to play Jailbreaker, which is a song I'd forgotten about completely.
And one which isn't massive on my list either. I mean, most people know them for Boys Are Back in Town or Whiskey in the Jar. I didn't pick those ones for this show. Continuing the theme of the live album. Lizzy, for most rock fans, their best moment was Alive and Dangerous, or as some ways would call it, Live in the Studio, but that's another story, album that came out in 1978. And this particular song is Still in Love with You, which was written by Gary Moore, I believe. But he doesn't feature on this one. One of the great 70s guitar solos here, but it's from Glaswegian Brian Robbo Robertson and American Scott Gorham. But despite the fact Gary wrote it, I think even he would have agreed, God rest his soul, that this was the definitive version. Here's Thin Lizzy, Still in Love with You, from 1978's Live and Dangerous.
I think I'll fall if I don't find something else to do. This sadness, it never ceases. Oh, I'm still in love with you, and my head, it keeps on reloading. Got me in a crazy spin. Oh, darling, 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 is this the end? I'm still in love with you. Some people out there are saying time has its way of healing. It can dry all the tears from your eyes. Oh, but darling, they don't tell you about this empty feeling. You know I can't disguise it. After all that we've been through, I try my best, but it's no use. Ooh, I'm gonna keep on loving you. Is this the end? Still in love with you. my baby.